Long before the glint of gold defined an empire, and before the vast cities of Timbuktu and Niani rose from the savannah, a child was born who would defy fate itself, a child who could not walk, yet whose steps would one day shake the earth beneath Mali. His name, Sundiata Keita. In the court of prophecy, griots whispered that this boy, small and weak, would rise to unite a fractured land and forge an empire that would echo through centuries. But few could imagine the battles, betrayals, and sheer will it would take to transform a crippled prince into the Lion King of Mali. Sundiata was born in the early 13th century in the Mandinka heartlands of West Africa, into the royal Keita lineage. His father, Nermagan Khanate, was king of the small but strategically positioned kingdom of Kongaba. His mother, Sogalan Kajo, was said to possess mystical insight, and her eccentricities sparked rumors in the court. From birth, Sundiata faced a cruel twist of fate. A childhood illness or, perhaps a congenital disability, left him unable to walk. In a world where strength defined survival and leadership, his condition cast doubt on his destiny. Many courtiers doubted he could ever lead. Even his rivals whispered that the prophecy of a great unifier would never be fulfilled. Yet Sogalan, guided by visions and spiritual wisdom, protected her son, nurturing both his body and mind. She taught him resilience, strategy, and the art of observation. While other children trained in physical combat, Sundiata trained in tactics, diplomacy, and the subtleties of power skills that would one day eclipse brute force. Even in exile, these early lessons became the foundation of a man who would change the course of West African history. When Sundiata's father died, a bitter struggle for succession erupted. Rival princes and jealous courtiers feared the prophecy and sought to eliminate the boy who could not walk. Sundiata and his mother were forced into exile, wandering the forests and savannas, living in obscurity among allied clans. It was during these years that Sundiata's legend began to take shape. Though weakened physically, he developed extraordinary strategic intelligence, forming alliances with neighboring tribes and learning the intricate politics of the region. Griots recount that he tamed wild animals, navigated dangerous territories, and gained the loyalty of warriors who would later fight under his banner, a lesser-known historical detail. Sundiata's travels brought him into contact with Islamic merchants and scholars from the northern Sahel. These interactions exposed him to administrative techniques, trade networks, and governance models that he would later implement in the Mali Empire, blending indigenous Mandinka traditions with wider Sahelian knowledge. By the time Sundiata reached maturity, he was no longer the boy who could not walk. He had learned the art of psychological warfare, alliance building, and statecraft skills that made him a formidable contender for the throne he was denied as a child. The oppressor of Mali at the time was Soso King Sumaro Kanti, a ruthless ruler whose tyranny spread fear across the region. Sumero's armies had conquered numerous smaller kingdoms, and his reign of terror was cemented by both fear and sorcery, according to griot accounts. He wielded mystical powers that made him seemingly invincible. Sundiata, guided by prophecy, allies, and an indomitable will, gathered a coalition of exiled princes, warriors, and tribal leaders. What followed was one of the most legendary confrontations in West African history, the Battle of Kirana. Though the details of the battle are veiled in legend, historical sources indicate that Sundiata employed both tactical ingenuity and psychological strategy. He likely used knowledge of the terrain, feints, and disciplined troop formations to counter Sumero's numerically superior forces. In a turning point, Sundiata's coalition broke the Soso defenses, and Sumero fled, leaving Mali free. This victory was not just a military triumph. It legitimized Sundiata as the rightful ruler and fulfilled the prophecy whispered by griots decades earlier. From a crippled boy in exile, he became a symbol of resilience and destiny realized. After Kirana, Sundiata set about uniting the Mandinka kingdoms into a cohesive Mali empire. His reign was marked by innovation, stability, and visionary governance. He codified laws known as the Mandan Charter, Kurukan Fuga, one of the earliest known declarations of human rights in history, emphasizing justice, social responsibility, and protection of the weak. Sundiata also strengthened trade, linking Mali to trans-Saharan networks. Gold, salt, and ivory flowed along the Niger River, bringing prosperity and influence to the region. Cities like Niani and later Timbuktu flourished, becoming hubs of commerce, learning, and culture. A fascinating but lesser-known fact, Sundiata is credited with promoting a system of delegated governance, appointing local chiefs while maintaining central authority, a model that allowed Mali to expand without fragmenting under internal dissent. His emphasis on education, oral history, and griot culture ensured that knowledge, culture, and laws were preserved, creating a lasting legacy beyond military conquest. Sundiata's story is not just one of power, but of vision, resilience, and cultural synthesis. By uniting Mali, he created an empire that would dominate West Africa for centuries, attracting scholars, traders, and travelers from across the region. Even today, Sundiata is remembered not only as a king, but as a symbol of overcoming adversity. His life inspired generations, cemented in oral traditions passed down by griots, and in historical accounts that highlight his strategic genius, political foresight, and unwavering commitment to justice. The boy who could not walk became the Lion King, whose roar shaped the destiny of a people and whose legacy echoes across the sands and rivers of West Africa.